Hey everyone, this is Miss Pack. I'm coming to you once again with our Teacher Academy. I want to talk to you guys today about why students are struggling behaviorally. So let's think about it kind of from the academic side of things. If a student is struggling in ELA or math, we don't really see that as a deficit of will, but more of a deficit of skill. So we come to that and we come to our SAT meetings and we say, hey, this student isn't doing very well with addition. So we need to kind of go back and relearn those addition facts. So it's not that the student is like, I just don't like addition, I'm not going to do it. It's more about they haven't developed that basic skill set. So I want us to challenge ourselves and think about their behavior in the same manner. So whenever they are misbehaving or looking as if they're misbehaving, maybe they have their hood over their head or whatever, let's challenge ourselves not to see that as it is a deficit of will, but a deficit of skill. So it's not about the will to do it. They want to do it. A lot of our students who are misbehaving the most are trying the hardest to do well. But they have a lot of factors at home that are just making it very, very challenging for them. So if we see it more as a deficit of skill, not a deficit of will, then we can look at how to teach these students some things a little bit differently so that it looks a little bit different in your classroom, and you can feel like you're gaining some momentum with their behavior. So the problem is if we're thinking in our old way, then our kind of thinking goes like this. They would behave that way if they wanted to. Because they don't want to, then that is my job to make them want to. And I do that by disciplining them so that they won't want the discipline, they will want the good behavior, and then we're all happy. However, that tends to get us in a power struggle, and then the students are still misbehaving. We're feeling frustrated. They're getting written up, and they're going home to a home that's probably not great. And so we're starting this cycle all over again, and we're not really sure how to get out of it. So again, I challenge you. It is not a deficit of will, but a deficit of skill. Okay. So instead of using the power leverage, where you're saying if they wanted to, they would, then try doing something different where you diagnose the why. Why are they behaving the way they're behaving? And you may not understand that at first. It's going to take conversations. And we've talked about the limbic system and the midbrain or the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex before in other videos. So what I'm asking you to see is that whenever they've got the hood over their head, they're throwing a chair, they're kicking something, we're seeing something that's a big behavior, then that means that they are thinking from their amygdala, their midbrain, and not their prefrontal cortex. So trying to discipline and tell them that they should not do that is going to be challenging for them to understand the why. They don't want you to do that. Like, why are you telling me not to do this? This is what I feel like I'm doing. And then you, on the other hand, are experiencing frustration because you don't understand why they're behaving the way they are. So 1-minute conversations once a day are always a fantastic option. So that's when you just talk to the student for 1 minute every day, and you just ask them kind of how their day is, what went on last night, is there anything new today, and really just get to know them. And then that way when they're feeling really frustrated, first you regulate. So if they're coming from their amygdala, then we have to regulate. And that's the breathing techniques that we talk about in the morning. So just getting some oxygen into their brain, doing a very simple task so that they can start to regulate their body and their emotions. After that, you get into their limbic system, and that means you relate. So that's when you say, oh my goodness, so what's going on right now? Tell me what's happening with you. Then, if it seems like they're able to talk and discuss what's going on with them at the moment, then you're in their PFC, their prefrontal cortex, their thinking brain. So then you can reason with them and you can say, okay, so you kicked the chair over because you're feeling frustrated because Ann didn't talk to you at recess today, and so now you're feeling frustrated. Now, what should a consequence be for knocking over the chair? And that's when you can get that relationship and you can reason with them. If you're trying to reason with them whenever they are in their amygdala brain, their watchdog brain, that's going to be very challenging. They're not going to be able to talk to you. And that relationship with these kiddos, if you're got a relationship, then they're going to do a lot of things for you in the classroom because they want that relationship with you, not because you're disciplining them because that's what they should do. It's not about will, it's about skill, and we're teaching these basic skills. And to teach them, they have to be in their prefrontal cortex. If you're trying to teach these skill sets when their lid is flipped and they're thinking from their amygdala, from their watchdog, it's not going to be effective. So one last thing I ask of you is don't be kind of like a drive-by empath. So you're not going to be like, I know you must be feeling bad, but you need to go ahead and get your coat on. So it looks like you're feeling bad. Can you tell me what's going on? Just let them tell you. It's like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry that's happening. What do you see the other students doing? So let them regulate. So you're coming down to them. You're not just fly by, okay, I see that's happening, but you need to move on because that's going to get them all hyped up again. So regulate, relate, and reason. And that goes so that they start to think from their watchdog brain to their wise owl brain, and that will help you in the classroom regulate. Now, quickly, if they are dysregulated and you notice that, so you are getting them regulated, they're doing some breathing, they're in their calm spot, now you're starting to relate, and you notice that, oh my goodness, now they're back up in their watchdog brain, you have to regulate again. It's not linear. So if they are not going by the steps, you have to start back at the top. Regulate, relate, reason. Regulate, relate, reason. And I think that's going to help you guys see some decrease in behaviors in your classroom. And as always, please reach out to us if there's anything we can do to support you guys. Thank you.